Hello, it's Joyful Hermit. I had just done a video and I don't know what happened to it. I'm not very good with technology. But I wanted to share today a little bit about Omnia Prodo, which is something an old priest friend of mine told me to do years ago, about 19 years ago, after I had converted to Catholicism. He said, live your life Omnia Prodo. Well, what's Omnia Prodo? And he said, all for God. So I try to do that, and to better or lesser degrees, but I try to. And today I needed to go run some errands. I needed to get a 4 by 8 by 12 foot header beam and another half dozen 2 by 4 by 10 foot studs, as well as I picked up a bargain door that I got, a 5-panel 36-inch wide door that the guy sold me for 25 bucks. Going to make a pocket door. I need the header because I am gutting out the entry, and it had just a little narrow doorway into the living room of this place, this old farmhouse, and I'm opening it up to about an 8 or longer or wider doorway, and you need a header to support across the span. So that requires a beam. And when I go places, I try to go Omnia Prodo. I always wear my crucifix out, and I don't wear it while I'm working because several years ago, this same old priest who I knew, he had taken, I was given 2 rings by my mother and a ring by my father, and he wed me to the cross. It was most meaningful. This was maybe about probably 3 years after my private profession as a Catholic hermit back in the year 2000. So I've been a hermit a little over 14 years now, and it's quite an evolving process. And I want to mention, why there was a debate in the past when I was writing, and maybe someone I was speaking, I don't know, over other hermits being upset regarding designation as Catholic hermit, thinking that a Catholic hermit could only be used for someone who's canonically approved by a bishop, going more the public professed route of the hermit life, or as opposed to that all other hermits who are Catholic should not call themselves Catholic hermits. And I don't mean any disrespect, but I call myself the Catholic hermit, a Catholic hermit. I have many, many Protestant friends, and I have friends of other religions even, Jewish, Sufi, Buddhist, and I know New Age people, and atheists, whatever. So I designate myself as a Catholic hermit, much as all the hermits of yore did, who prior to, or for those who were not called by God to the canonical approval process, as opposed to being a New Age hermit, a Buddhist hermit, a Sufi hermit, a Hindu hermit. In fact, I have some Hindu friends. So I think that clarifies that. But I'm not going to be called off into that old debate. It just goes nowhere, and I'd rather be more like Teresa of Avila recommends in Way of Perfection, to rise above. And as St. Paul says, think of things above and not on earth. That's not to say we don't have our feet firmly planted on terra firma, on the firm soil of earth. We live on earth, but our souls are constantly to be striving for union with God and striving for light through love. So I just have so many things that I am called to share about my hermit life as a Catholic, and also as a victim soul, as someone who suffers all the time. So suffering is a great part of my vocation, and I've been called to suffer, and a lot of it is for the church and for priests, and of course for my own soul too, for my own soul's purification. But Omnia Prodo is a marvelous truth, concept of truth, and it's a challenge to all of us to live our lives for God. So when I go on my errands about once a week, and later on that will slow down quite a bit because I won't need construction supplies. But I do go to Mass once a week, but that's not what I consider an errand. But I try to even go on my errands all for God, and to be pleasant and cheerful and respectful of the clerks that I meet. Today I had a discussion with Tom at Lowe's, and he taught me and told me, showed me what tools I would need, what parts, what wrench parts I would need to be able to do my own lawnmower servicing. As a single older woman, I have been grossly ripped off, especially in this latest move. I walked in naively into a situation. I trusted a realtor, who happened to be Catholic, incidentally. I trusted the inspector she got. I trusted the contractor she recommended. And I don't think she meant wrong by it. Maybe she didn't know herself. But I learned out in the big world, there's a lot of collusion that goes on, and a lot of back patting. And I lost thousands and thousands of my parents' hard-earned money. And some of it was my hard-earned money from the past, before I was disabled with pain. And so I'm having to do a lot of the work myself, and of course it's very slow because I'm a semi-invalid of sorts. You know, with this pain, I can work real hard sometimes, and then other times I'm bedridden for 3 days or however long, and half out of my mind in pain. So even that suffering needs to be all for God. And I have come to understand that in His mercy, He even accepts my rotten moaning suffering, because I'm offering it to Him, even though I may not be a cheerful sufferer most of the time. Not there yet. I'm working on it. Might take me a lifetime, or I may never make it to be a cheerful sufferer all the time. So anyway, then I talked with Dave at the lumber company, and they had a couple of windows in their boneyard. Boneyard is rejects from people or misorders. And then he came down real low on them. And I think these guys sort of get a kick out of the old lady coming in and having to learn all these tricks of the trade and how to use tools and do this and that. So I'm going to strip the entry and get more rats out. I'm up to 47 rats. I got 2 more dead rats out yesterday from the existing kitchen wall. Still have more to go. But I think I'll put these 2 small transom windows in along the stairway going up, so that people can look out, or I can look out. Whoever visits, or whoever the future owners of this place, will be able to look out on the beautiful gardens to the south of the house. It's become a rather fun and creative process. Once I adapted to living in a very hard and austere mode. But the Holy Spirit comes through, and the Holy Spirit is indomitable. And when we ask God to help us to live all for Him, He provides the means. So, even though I was down for the count for quite a bit of the time I was here in the first year, especially through the cold of the winter, in which a couple of nights I thought I would be going to sleep and not waking up, and I thought, well, hypothermia is a pleasant way to die. But it's been rugged, and but all for God. And now it's getting to the point where I am more accepting and seeing the creative process of also the idea that whatever I do each day, I won't have to be doing that again. If it's, gutting out some rats and donning the ventilator mask and cleaning up rat feces that seems never to end, and rat nests and sometimes even bird nests have gotten into the walls. Um, I won't have to do that again, and no one else will have to do it again because I have rat bait stations set up all around the exterior now, and am trying to make this place an offering to God and something that other people will not go through what I had to go through. So we try to always approach things in that spiritual mode, and not always successful. Of course I'm not, but I'm growing, I'm learning, and I'm striving, and I desire. I desire that closeness to God and that union with God, and living for Him in everything that I do. So anyway, I think that was, I'd probably discussed some other things in the video that I lost. It's out there somewhere, maybe, who knows. But I think I've explained my position and my mission from what the Lord has laid on me recently again, is that I have things to share that He wishes me to share with other people anonymously. None of my friends know that I'm doing this or that I write blogs. They don't read my blogs. It's just whoever out there on the internet stumbles upon them, and there are a couple of people who do know who I am, and it doesn't matter. I used to sort of get bothered that they would, they knew that I wanted to remain hidden, but whatever people do, we can't control. But I have so benefited by the books that I have read by hermits of all types, even some of other religions. I've benefited by their lives and their stories of their process, the good and the bad that they went through, and the trials, especially the persecutions. How they handled persecutions has been very helpful to me, and how they always came out positively and moved through it. And also, even now, Venerable Lieberman was not a hermit. For a while, he lived a very hidden life, but he was very suicidal even. He fought suicidal thoughts all his life. And even reading that was helpful to understand we're all human. And the goal is to live for God and to strive and pray for union with God, and to realize that God has mercy on us, and that at base we're pathetic creatures, and He loves us even though we're pathetic. So I have things to share of my Catholic hermit life, and also of some of my mystical experiences and benefits that I realize there are many people. Some of my friends do call upon me to help them when they've had some unusual experiences, that they're too fearful in some ways or guarded in not wanting to ask or mention to anyone else. But they understand that I have lots of experiences and I can help them out, usually by the grace of God. And if not, I can guide them in praying for answers. And I always add that in anyway. Now you pray. I try to teach people, because this is for everyone. The Holy Spirit will help guide us. It just takes asking and faith and belief, and then also learning to discern spirits. So it's one thing to read of the variety of hermits of all types, all paths, all different aspects of their church life. But, I'm not a Greek Orthodox hermit. I'm not a Byzantine hermit. I'm not a Jewish hermit. I'm a Catholic hermit. So, for the reasons I've expressed, that's why I designate myself as such, and a joyful hermit. Try to be. Anyway, everyone has something of benefit to share with fellow man, And that's what I'm going to be doing. It's time. The Lord has let me know it's time, and it's my chronicle. And if it helps someone, great. I'm not in debate over anyone else's hermit life or any active apostolate or whatever other people. I have lots of people when they find out I'm a hermit, which few do, but on occasion, oh, but no, oh no, you have too much to offer, you should. And then I explain, that hermits aren't recluses necessarily, but some were. It just depends on the calling of God, and also somewhat on the perspective of the spiritual director or the bishop, or but mostly how God calls and works through those people guiding, but also through our own souls. God bless His real presence in you.